morning. You're listening to AVNewsCast.com.
There it is. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Is it a happy Monday?
Yeah.
Hey, can you turn my mic pod up a little bit?
Up a little bit?
Yeah, give me a little more.
There you go.
A lot of stuff going on. Everybody have a good weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, going to be a
Nice.
great week. Going to be a great week.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
There's a guy, I want to just mention this real quick. There's a guy on the west side of Palmdale, and actually the east side too, who was burglarizing businesses.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right? And this guy has hit about 40 businesses. He goes in, he's very quick. He wants only one thing, the cash register. Okay? And not the whole register. He just wants what's in it.
Of course.
Okay?
Yeah. 40 of them so far?
Yes.
Wow.
40 of them. And before, he hit Abidak Saturday morning. All right? And before I could even, or anyone had a chance to even look at the tape, sheriff's deputies already were able to say, well, we bet when you look at it, this is the guy, and da-da-da.
Yeah.
Which is true. And the interesting thing is, this guy has a real big pair of cojones. Okay? And I'll tell you why.
Why?
Okay? Broad daylight. Okay? About 6:40 in the morning. Okay? Cars, traffic on the street.
Yeah.
Okay? Hits the door to the showroom. Okay? 3 times really hard. And you can see it in the video. Everything flexes.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
And from the moment of the last flex, when he broke through the glass, to grab the register, open it up, because he knew, we didn't even know, that there's a secret button on the bottom.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, that's what I said. Oh, is there? I didn't know that either.
I thought you had to do a sale to get the thing to open.
No, so did I.
There's a button at the
There's
bottom?
a button on the bottom, okay?
Oh.
Little finger button. He knew that, okay? He also knew that because you can't see in the windows, okay? So somehow he had been in there before, because he knew where the register was, okay? From coming through the glass, through the showroom, to the register, turning it around, grabbing the money, the whole drawer, and back out.
Oh, he turned it around?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Turned it around. Made himself at home.
Yeah.
23 seconds.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Okay? He's a pro.
Yeah.
It's too bad he can't take that energy and thought and planning and everything and put it into some good use.
Yeah, too bad.
Yeah.
23 seconds.
23 seconds is amazing.
But do you get a good look at him?
We haven't looked at the close-up camera, only the far camera. He had gloves on.
Well,
Okay.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just amazing. Just amazing. Okay, so yesterday was the last soccer game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finally.
Yeah.
Germany and Argentina.
Yeah.
All right. Germany wins 1-0.
Yeah. And I could hear my girlfriend screaming from Bel Air.
Really?
Yeah, she's from Germany, and she was so excited. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. And they had riots all over Brazil. Okay, because of this.
Riots?
Yes. In Argentina, too.
Yeah,
Why would they riot?
because they're very upset. So let's go damage something, because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a game.
Exactly. It's a game.
Wow.
I turned on the soccer match just in time to see the goal. Done, I could turn it off. That's it. I'm not much for soccer.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not really much for soccer. What's been going on between Israel and Palestine and Hamas and everything that's going on? Yesterday they had a protest, and this is out of control because they're lobbing rockets at each other. I mean, it's really out of control. But yesterday in Westwood, for some reason, everybody wants to go protest in front of the federal building, always. In
Yeah,
Westwood.
that's the spot to be.
It is the spot to be, okay? For whatever is going on in the world, that's where everybody has to protest. So yesterday they had pro-Israeli, pro-Palestinian marches, and everything was going on, and this is in Westwood yesterday. A guy gets out of a truck to retrieve a Palestinian flag, okay, that had fallen on the ground. For whatever reason, okay, a federal officer draws his weapon
What?
and fires into the crowd at this truck.
Wow.
Yeah. That was the look on everybody's face.
Huh.
He didn't hit anybody. but he actually drew his weapon and fired at the truck.
What is wrong with people?
In the middle of this whole protest. They're still trying to figure out what happened.
Huh.
Okay? They detained 4 guys.
You sure? I mean, was it a real like that, or you just heard a shot? Maybe he...
No, it was a real like that. Okay? Right at the truck. Didn't hit anybody.
What is wrong with people?
So then the whole protest goes crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay? Then it's worse.
Oh, yeah.
Now there's police everywhere.
Times 150.
There was... Nobody else had any weapons. From what I can see, and I've looked at video footage, there was no reason for it. Nuts. Yeah, we're going to have to find out what happened. Very, very
I'm
nuts.
telling you.
Yeah.
That's craziness.
It is craziness.
So at least did they grab the officer and take him somewhere? And
He's going through whatever he goes through, his debrief. They detained 4 guys. These are all the 4 guys from the truck. Okay?
But all they did was open up a door to get a flag.
While they were driving down Wilshire Boulevard, okay, they stopped the truck.
So you're going to detain them for what?
I don't have these answers yet. They're trying to figure this whole thing out. Okay? It happened on a Sunday. Okay? Investigations are slow on Sundays. I don't know. But they're trying to figure this whole thing out.
I mean, detained for what?
First
of all, if you're talking about the traffic issue, the only person that did something wrong was the guy who was driving the car that stopped the truck. Everybody else that was in there was no law broken. Like, detaining me for what?
No, but the guy that jumped out to retrieve this flag, people originally were they didn't know what was going on.
Yes.
Whether he was retrieving the flag to help somebody, or he was, a protester on behalf of, Israel, and wanted to take the flag. So that caused a lot of problem. Okay? So the officer draws and fires his weapon. Into a crowd, toward the truck.
No one hit.
Out of control.
Absolutely.
To do that. That's crazy. We talked about a story about a year ago. And this is a really interesting story. Okay? Because, and I'll tell you why. We talked about a story about a judge, an L.A. County Superior Court judge. He's African American. Okay? Was leaving the gym late at night near UCLA. Okay?
Not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right?
I'm waiting for it, though. I'm sure he ain't supposed to do that.
He got pulled over and got roughed up. When he got pulled over...
that story.
You remember this?
No, I don't.
Okay. When he got pulled over, granted, he was not wearing a seatbelt. However, okay, they didn't know that at the time. Okay? When he got pulled over, it was because he was African American. Okay? Wrong place, fish out of water. That's what the officer said, all right? He opened his glove box. They said, license, registration. Why did you pull me over? Because you don't look like you should be around here.
Yeah.
That's what he said to him?
Yeah.
I love it.
Had no idea he was a judge.
Love it. Say that to a judge.
No idea he was a judge. License and registration, opens his glove box, which is kind of messy, probably like mine or yours. Looking around for papers. A pill bottle falls out. All right? The officer says, are you on drugs? He says, no. What's that? Blood pressure medication. All right? The officer says, get your license and registration. He says, okay. Officer goes back to his patrol car to talk to his partner. The judge, whose name is David S. Cunningham, the judge gets out of the car.
Oh, because he's feeling judgy.
He
forgot he was black.
He gets out of the car to go to the trunk of his car.
Oh, yeah.
Because his papers are in the trunk.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. He forgot. Go ahead. I don't remember the story.
That caused him to get taken to the ground.
Oh, absolutely.
All right?
You kidding?
All right.
Yes.
He gets mad. He understands protocol. He demands that they get a supervisor there.
Yes.
Okay? They call for a supervisor, a black supervisor. He comes over, calms the whole situation down. In the meantime, when he comes over, Judge Cunningham, who's done nothing, all right, is in the back of a police car, handcuffed. Okay? Fuming. Okay? Files a $10 million lawsuit.
Absolutely.
Against UCLA.
Oh, UCLA, because it was UCLA cops.
It was UCLA cops, okay, against UCLA. stating that not only was he roughed up, beaten up, but it was racial profiling.
Yeah.
All right? UCLA, and really what he wants is he wants officers to change the way they work.
Right.
All right? It's
Quit
not
that
about the money.
profiling. Right.
It's not about the money.
Right.
But I'm a supervising judge for the LA County Superior Court.
Yeah, and
I
you never
know
know who you're talking to.
I know how to file a lawsuit.
Right.
I know how to draft one that sticks and has teeth.
Yes.
This is what I'm going to do. $10 million, okay?
Okay, I'm waiting for it.
UCLA agreed to settle, okay? Agreed to settle. And he said, this is what I want, okay? I want $500,000. I'll drop my $10 million, okay? $500,000 for my attorney. And no, I'm sorry, $150,000 for my attorney, and I want $350,000 in scholarships. Okay,
Wow.
To go to African Americans that want to attend UCLA. All right, that's all I want, and be done with it. They also did write him a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt, but that wasn't why they pulled him over.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
UCLA agreed to dismiss the traffic ticket against him. The traffic judge
Said no.
says, hey, wait a minute.
It is what it is.
We're not fixing tickets here,
I get that.
okay?
Yeah.
We're not fixing tickets.
Especially
now,
publicly.
Now, we had a senior commander for the LAPD, okay, in our office a couple of weeks ago, all right? This is a senior supervising guy, top-level guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Seen it all.
Seen it all,
Yeah.
okay? Heads up homicide. And for the whole South Bureau. And he said even that, look, I've been in Beverly Hills, okay, at night. Wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong color.
Yeah, wrong color.
Yeah.
And I have problems.
Yeah.
Okay? It happens everywhere.
Yeah, it does.
Okay? The other gentleman that he was with, a detective.
Said,
Okay.
oh, yeah.
Oh, hey, I got pulled over.
Oh, yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
And he was pulled over by an LA County Sheriff's deputy. Okay? He happens to drive this detective, and he's bald head, and if
Yeah.
you looked at him, you would think that this guy was maybe part of a Mexican gang. All right?
But see, that's the problem with society. We're always trying to label somebody,
You are.
put them in a box.
All right? And then on top of it, okay, on top of it, he drives a very tricked-out lowrider.
Yeah.
Okay? So that just adds to the whole
Yep.
thing.
Because they're running those plates. They're like, they can't all be right.
Right. and pulls him over.
Yeah.
All right? And the sheriff's deputy said, look, you know what? Think about this, okay? If you were you would have pulled yourself over. And
Yeah,
he said,
and
you're
that's
right.
the human part of us. And see, that's the human part of us that since we all know it exists, we need to put some things in place to go against it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's difficult because you have this line of trying to reduce crime, okay?
Yeah, I get it.
And maybe stop it before it happens.
But see, the thing that's really funny about that is, you know, one of my favorite Friday night shows, or I don't even know what night it goes on because I tape it, is What Would You Do? And they are constantly in our face with profiled situations and what would people do. And they'll show you 3 white guys, 3 white girls, 3 black guys. I mean, they'll give you all the scenarios. Like, for instance, they showed 3 people, and they were robbing cars. A white girl goes, and she was able to get about $80,000 out of the cars in front of a highly populated street.
$80,000?
$80,000 worth of stuff she was able to steal out of cars without anybody saying, hey, what are you doing? In fact, someone tried to help her. A white guy was able to get out, I think it was $40,000 worth of stuff. $10,000 a black guy couldn't even get it out good before the streets engulfed him. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I have seen that.
And that's the thing. It's like, you know, we keep saying how many people are in jail, and you know, if they don't do the crime, then they wouldn't be there. But I keep saying to people, but if we really wanted to pay attention to what was really happening, maybe it would be a little bit more balanced. Because we just don't look. People don't look at certain people as criminals. So if you're doing it, God knows you got to have a good reason to do it. $80,000 the blonde chick was able to pull out.
Right.
With help.
You know, after this guy from the LAPD was at our place, you know, and you and I were talking about a lot of different things, and we've talked about the racial makeup of people in prison.
Yeah.
Okay? And then what's interesting is we went back and we want to take a look at L.A. County. And we started to look at the population, okay, and the racial makeup of the population.
Right.
And it's interesting when you look at the prison system in California, and you say it's about evenly split between blacks and whites, okay? About 50-50, let's just say, whatever. But they were very evenly split, all right? But then you look at the racial makeup of the county of L.A., and you see that the African-American population is only 9.8%.
Yeah. To white people, which are 53%.
Yeah, which are, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, not so evenly split anymore.
No, it's not.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
It is.
But until people take necessary changes and take our human imperfection into account when we put people in law enforcement on the streets, we're going to keep having this. We're going to keep having it. I mean, when judges are constantly seeing black young guys as criminals and the prosecution is constantly giving this up, then, I mean, you can't say that a judge is beyond reproach. Of course he's going to think that that's what it looks like.
A lot of it has to do with, the DAs, too, okay?
Oh, yeah.
That are in there.
All of them.
Yeah, and make
All
this
of them.
deal. And
Yes.
this is, I know. And it is
And
a
it
problem.
doesn't help that the sheriff department spends 5 years in the county prisons before they get on the streets.
County jail.
Okay, county jails before they get on the streets? That's kind of scary. No wonder they got attitudes.
Well, that's their training.
But that's not good training.
No.
Yeah.
That's not good training because you're not dealing with the general public when you're working in the
Yeah, you're
prisons.
seeing the worst, and
Yeah, you're
then
seeing the worst,
hitting the
and then you're
streets.
pulling us over for a parking ticket, and you got mad attitude. You're like, "Good Lord, it's only 8:15 in the morning. What happened to you?"
You're back to your experience.
Always. Both of them.
Yeah. Well, UCLA Police Department agreed to establish a new diversity training program for their officers, and they're going to hold community forums, and whatnot.
Yeah, but he could get killed. He is so lucky that they did not shoot him.
He was
when
bruised
he got out
and
the
bad.
car.
He was mad. Okay.
Yeah, but you don't get out the car.
You don't. You don't get out of the car.
You don't
You leave
get
your
out.
hands on the steering wheel.
And you just let them do their thing.
Let them do their thing.
But he's
Okay.
pissed because he's all judgy. Because you got your own stuff. Because you're a judge.
Yeah.
The reality is that I am a judge.
Right.
And y'all ain't going to have no job come Monday.
Well, everybody that gets pulled over, okay, you keep your hands on the wheel and
Yeah.
just
Oh,
okay. But they chose the
Yes,
wrong
sir.
guy. But here's the thing, though. But
Yes.
it does come down to that fine line
Yeah.
of, and UCLA's had a lot of problems with sexual assaults and a lot of stuff on campus.
Yeah.
So, they're trying to be vigilant, okay, and do the right thing. Here they did the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to be proactive.
But they act like there's no African Americans that go to UCLA. My girlfriend's son just graduated from UCLA.
I get it. I understand what you're saying.
I mean, it's like,
okay.
what are you thinking?
Look, the commander from the LAPD getting pulled over in Beverly Hills. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, it's much
I
harder
get
for
it.
a guy. It's much harder. Because I could be in Beverly Hills. I'm not going to get stopped. It's just really hard.
Yeah. Did you hear the story? And this really sucks in New Jersey. This really, really bothered me. A guy wanted to become famous.
Oh, okay.
All right? And this happened late Saturday night into early Sunday morning. His name is Lawrence Campbell, and he's 27. He went into Walgreens in New Jersey, okay? Got in a scuffle with a security guard that was there, okay? The security guard is an armed security guard, all right? Mm-hmm. So he got the security guard's gun, okay? Store security called police, all right? And this guy's comment was, "Watch the news, I'm going to be famous." Okay?
Oh.
He goes outside, he's talking to customers outside, telling them, "You got to get out of the way. Okay? Get out of here." Goes back inside, lays and waits for the first black and white to roll up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay? Shoots the officer in the head
Oh, come on.
and kills him. For no reason whatsoever.
Other than just his
I
10
want to be
minutes of
famous.
fame.
Okay? No reason whatsoever. Okay? Wanted to become famous.
Sicko.
Okay? Other officers immediately,
Yeah. Did what they
killed
had
this
to do.
guy. Okay? For absolutely no reason. The officer that was killed had been on the force for 1 year.
Wow.
Okay? 1 year.
Yeah.
Now tell me, when you follow that up, okay, it is scary out there being a cop.
Yeah, but that's still a white guy. Still don't mean you should come down on black guys.
So
come down on white people
that's
like
not
that.
what I'm saying, okay?
Pull over every white
Okay.
guy.
Okay, hey, I got pulled over a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
I'm white.
Yeah.
Because they were looking for criminals and gangsters.
Yeah.
Okay, I look like a gangster.
Well,
Yeah.
they needed their contacts.
Okay, what?
They left their glasses at home.
If I saw Steve walking down a sidewalk late at night,
Man.
and I'd cross.
Man, would I follow him? Who do you know? I'm following you.
If I had Skittles, I'd be in trouble.
Hey, and don't have that juice, that
Yeah.
iced tea.
Then I would be in trouble. We talked last week about Assemblyman Steve Vox and AB 2389, which is a good thing. It's a great thing for the Antelope Valley. It'll provide, hopefully, a lot of jobs, $420 million in tax credits, okay, for the aerospace industry. And this could be really a great thing because it allows the aerospace companies, and a lot of them, okay, this even could benefit Tesla Motors, okay? It allows a lot of companies to be more aggressive in their bidding on contracts because they know that, hey, I can go lower here because I've got this on the, on the horizontal end that I can grab. But there's another bill that's floating around in the Assembly, all right, that nobody's been talking about. And this bill is called Assembly Bill 1522, all right? Here's what it would do. It would mandate that employers in California pay sick days to employees.
Interesting.
Mandatory.
Probably 7 or 8 a year, because that's what's customary.
So, 7 or 8 what?
Days.
Normally, you get about 7 or 8 sick days a year.
Paid.
Paid.
How many does Avadak pay? All right. Okay.
Stop it. What
Okay.
are you kidding me?
Well, here's the thing, okay? A lot of large companies don't. They don't pay
What?
sick pay.
A lot of large companies do. I don't know
A
what
lo-
you're talking about.
A lot of large
I've
companies
not
don't.
even heard of who doesn't. Of
Okay,
course
I'll
they
give you an
do.
example.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. The city of Santa Clarita.
That's
Okay.
the city.
This is not full-time.
That's
We're
the city.
talking
Yeah, this is
part-time
part-
employees.
That's the city, though. And
I'm-
part-time workers don't usually get sick days.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But, I mean, I don't know any large company that doesn't have sick days.
What do you mean?
For part-time?
No, not
This
for
is
part-time.
this is for part-time.
Well, this would be part-time and full-time. This is mandatory across the board, right?
Yeah. Okay. As an example, Stater Brothers Markets. They don't pay sick pay. You don't get paid if you don't come to work. You don't get paid.
Come on, I don't know.
Okay. I'm not talking about Lockheed, Boeing. Okay.
I can't believe that a market that's unionized does not have sick pay.
Not sick
That
pay.
doesn't make sense.
They don't. City of Santa Clarita.
Well, cities
about-
cities are a mess.
They've got about 585 part-time seasonal employees. Okay. This bill would cost just the city of Santa Clarita about $180,000 a year. Okay. And that's that's a line item that's not even funded.
Right.
That you got to run out and find money to pay for that.
They can find it.
Okay.
Tree services, sanitation.
Sign
something.
permits.
Yeah. Something.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't agree myself. I don't agree with this bill. Okay. I don't agree with anything. Okay. That this is an interesting thing. California just raised their minimum wage, right? Which, okay, the state did it. That's great. All right. And so that's 40, 100. If you were making $8 an hour,
Yeah.
now you just got an extra $160 a month.
Right.
Okay. I happened to be somewhere yesterday in Lancaster, and I was talking to somebody. I went into a store to buy something. I was talking to somebody, and they were talking about that they just got an extra $1 an hour, which is good. Okay, it caused them to lose their benefits because it kicked them over a level.
What kind of benefits?
I'm not sure.
That's That's not true.
Well, tell me how that works.
Because they're still at poverty. If they're making $9, you're not. Everybody else that I know of that just got bumped to $9 are not losing their benefits from no $9, Steve. So maybe that guy's married or that woman is married, and combined it took them over. But
is that how,
maybe? Because not with no $9.
No, I knew somebody that worked for us.
Mm-hmm. She's married.
Yeah, she missed it by $10.
Yeah, because she's married, and so it's 2 incomes. That's why.
That's how that works.
Right. The other girl that worked for Abadak didn't ever lose her benefits. Single parent, 3 kids.
Oh well, this guy said it caused him to lose his benefits.
That's because he's married. Yeah.
Okay. But
and
anyway,
to me, it's like this. Get the freebie benefits when you need to have the freebie benefits, but don't stay poor, or don't not progress yourself so that you can get free stuff. What are you doing? That's supposed to be a crutch for people that's hitting on bad times. You're supposed to lose your benefits. If you're $10 over, that's what's supposed to happen. Now you're supposed to get your grind in, so next year you'll be $50 over. I mean, give me a break. What are you talking about?
I'd like to hear from, if anybody has a big business in the Antelope Valley and you happen to be listening to the show, I'd like to hear your comment on this Assembly Bill, AB 1522, and how you feel about being mandated if you don't pay sick pay to your employees.
Of course they're going to not like it, Steve.
Right.
Of course they're going to not like it.
No.
The only people who are going to like it are the ones that are working for Abadak or places like that. And, there is some truth to it. I mean, the thing is that there are people that are making close to minimum wage that are working their butts off.
Yes.
To try to make a living.
Yes.
They, maybe they're single parents, maybe they're single fathers. Your kid is sick, and you really are living check to check, and you're an exemplary employee. Come on. To me, I understand that owners are not going to want to do it because that's just, cutting at their bottom line. But some of these people are working really hard for these companies.
But a lot of companies allow employees to do makeup time, so they don't lose.
But a lot of companies don't, and they don't have a problem. Take as many days as you want.
If you were running a small business, yours, okay, you were running this, you wouldn't be in favor of this.
Of course not. It's always about what side you're on.
Correct.
That's all. I mean, that's always the bottom line. It's always about what side you're on. But I can understand the need of the people that are working really hard that, my kid is sick. I mean, I have a philosophy that if you are a new employee and you're absent one time within 3 months, you're not going to last, period. And that philosophy has been proven true all my career as a manager. Not one employee that worked 3 months and was absent once ended up lasting or ended up being a valued employee.
Okay, here's how the votes went down on this bill. Okay?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. In Santa Clarita, Assemblyman Wilk voted no. All right. In Assembly District 36, Assemblyman Fox voted yes on this bill. I'm really happy with what he did with the tax credit and what he did with AB 2389. I'm not happy about his yes vote on this one. I'll tell you that. I am
right now. Because he's looking out for the majority of people that have the problems that I just stated.
Okay.
And you could easily be in that situation because you work for somebody else.
Yeah.
And if your son was sick and you were living check to check and your employer wasn't generous and said, "Oh, well, I'll let you make up time," you'd be screwed, Steve.
Yeah, but I'm not in that situation.
But so you can't see that side?
I do.
You're not seeing it?
But I got to look at both sides, okay? Because we talk. Wait.
But how many people are affected? There might be 20 people that are affected on that side, the business owners, and how many hundreds of thousands of people on the other? Okay. So as the assemblyman that is supposed to represent all of the district, who's he supposed to look out for?
Okay.
The business owners or the majority of the people?
All right, well, let me throw this out to you. In order to straighten out the economy in the Antelope Valley, okay, it's the private sector that's going to do it. It's the private
and they will up the coffee charge. They will up the charge 25 cents, 35 cents. Let's not be crazy about it. They're not going to sit there with their 50-cent pens that they've been selling if they are looking at this kind of increase. They're going to raise the price. They're going to raise the price. It's not going to come out their pocket.
A lot of them don't want to raise the price.
But they will, Steve.
They don't want
But they will. But won't they?
Okay. How do you raise?
Will they, or will they just take the hit out of their own pocket? They're going to raise the prices.
So if you're a car dealership and you employ 175 employees and you don't pay sick time, you raise the price on the cars?
You're going to raise the price on the cars. Yes, that's what they're going to do.
They're going down the hill to buy a car.
Everybody's going to do it, though, Steve. Everybody's going to do it.
Okay.
I mean, the reality is that they're not losing those sleep over that amount of money. They're not. And it's not going to come out of their pocket. But people do have kids at home that they need to make sure that they're available.
I get it. And you know what? And this is nothing, this doesn't affect you and I.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Okay? And it doesn't affect Jeff.
Right.
Okay? However, okay? So I don't have a dog in this fight, let's say.
Right.
Okay? However, still, I'm against it.
Because you don't care about the dogs that are in the fight.
No.
What do you say to them then? So tell me what you say to them.
We talked about this when this was my biggest gripe with the Affordable Care Act, okay, was that it was force-fed to everybody and everybody had to do it, okay? And it's something that's just going to attack your bottom line, all right? Here in California, it is hard enough to be competitive, okay? Hard enough. You go to Texas, you don't have any corporate income tax like that, okay?
They've got other things. I mean, every state, we're not the worst state in the union.
We are the second out of 50. We are 49.
So we're not the worst.
We're not the worst. That's what I said. I mean, the thing is that if we don't like it, then we move. I mean, you know, what
I'm ready.
We're in California. It is what it is. It is what it is. People are still struggling, and people need to be taken care of, dude. I mean, I'm just saying. It is what it is.
Okay. It doesn't help the private sector thrive when you keep hitting their bottom line. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
And
okay?
it doesn't help the lower income people when they can't take care of their families.
I understand. I get it. Okay? I really do.
It's not going to help the lower income people when it costs more, when every single thing, every little 25 cent adds up.
Yeah, that's true too.
And it's not going to help. It's not going to help their purchasing power at all.
We seem to always find a way, though, Steve, Jeff.
The bill was crafted and introduced by Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez, a Democrat out of San Diego. Okay, and what she says is every time this choice comes up for a sick employee, everyone loses money. Whether it's through unnecessary emergency room costs, the billions of dollars lost in productivity annually when sick employees try to go to work under the weather.
That's very true.
Okay.
See, she's not even. I wasn't even focusing on the angle that you're sick as an individual, because I would totally medicate myself up and look like a Energizer bunny to go to work sick. But I'm talking about your kid.
Wait a minute.
And
Steve should like this.
He loses his mind.
He should like Mr. Germ Guy.
Exactly. Because what are you? You're like, oh no, you got to go home. And people are like, I can't afford it. You got to go. You got to go.
Get out of here.
You lose your mind.
Yeah.
If someone sneezes.
Yep. I am. I'm like Howard Hughes when it comes to I don't even get near me if you're sick.
Exactly.
Okay?
You should like this then.
You should like it. Because at least they can go home.
They go home anyway. Now, get out of here. Go home. Just cough. Just one cough.
Yeah,
if it's clearing
and you
your throat,
flip
man,
out.
Goodbye. You're going home. Okay? You're done. You can make it up another time. She does go on to say that there's a major impact on working families trying to put food on the table. Okay? She does go on to say that. Again, I'm against this. Okay? Totally against this bill. I don't think it's any good.
You just don't like any kind of change whatsoever. That's your bottom line. Never mind the fact that we've got lists upon lists of band-aided things that we've been under since the beginning of the United States of America. I mean, the government has had hand in telling us to want to do something from the beginning. And that's the whole reason why Congress is there. They're there to pass laws to tell us what to do. So we're always being told what to do, what's acceptable, what's not. You just don't like it when it's new. That's the reality, because you've been living under that. You've been living under the oppression of somebody telling you what to do since the beginning of your life.
Okay. All right.
So it's nothing different. You just got another thing.
More and
like
more and more and more.
But that's what it is. That's what it's all about. What is Congress doing then?
They need to be
they're not doing
part-time.
anything right now.
They need to be part-time.
That's what they do. That's what the Senate does. That's what Congress does. They sit there and they try to think of laws. What can we do? What can we put up?
Let's
So we have
sunset.
Okay.
3 laws for each new one they come up with. Then.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, we could so clean the books of some stuff.
Let's work on. I mean, AB 2389 that Steve Fox introduced, that was co-sponsored by Senator Steve Knight, was it was fast-tracked, okay? This thing was fast-tracked very, very quickly, signed by the governor. Now let's get something fast-tracked that takes a guy like Christopher Hubert, okay,
Oh, yeah.
out of society, okay? We can fast-track a bill that's going to provide $420 million in tax credits.
But we can't fast-track a freak.
Can't fast-track legislation, okay, that'll keep a guy that's raped at least a minimum of 40 women, okay? We can't fast-track that.
Yeah. And what's so shameful about it is that, okay, of course we're going to be very aware of it because it happens in our community, but this story's on CNN.
Yeah.
This is a huge story. And people across the nation is looking at us like, what, you let who out? Why'd you do that?
It is true.
Because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually saw it was on page 2 of the Daily Mail in the UK yesterday.
Wow.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Because it don't make sense anywhere.
No, it doesn't make sense. And people are saying a lot of things. One thing was reinforced in the media, though, was the fact that not today, not tomorrow, not ever, okay, unless some court changes his release structure, can he ever operate a motor vehicle or a bus or anything.
Who cares? He wasn't ever licensed to rape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, who cares?
I agree.
Oh, that'd do it. I feel so much to shoot. Let me just move my daughter's next door. He can't drive.
People have been out there. Tom Lackey was out there yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. People have been out there protesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Not one or two. I mean a lot of people. Okay?
I know. The only thing is that it's going to die out. People are not going to stay on it because it's always 15 minutes. I saw the motorcycle guys out there and they're revving and they've got the bullhorn and I'm like, it's 100 degrees. How long are they really going to be out there?
Oh, they were out there all day and into the night.
Let's wait until next week.
And the ladies of Lake LA, they're pushing this strong.
And it's 3 of them.
Right. Maybe you can make the guy uncomfortable enough.
How could he be uncomfortable
I don't know.
enough? He's got all those walls to him.
They want to have a conversation with him. They've been giving out their cell phone number, okay, over the bullhorn.
Lord, yeah, he's going to come
Call
get you.
me, okay? We want to talk to you.
If he could figure out how to use that dang on cell phone.
How long?
Just Google the number.
How long security is going to be out there watching this guy?
As long as you want him to be a subject to our community, you should be watching him. The minute they let the security go will be a crying shame.
We won't be hearing about that.
Mm-mm.
I think if people stay out there, the more news media all over the country talks about this.
But people don't have a long...
Yeah, but look at Murrieta.
People don't think long. They don't.
Look what happened to Murrieta, though. They were able to affect change by being out there.
They're going to wait until next week. I mean, you know how we are.
Yeah, now Murrieta. So now, the city of Bell. The city of Bell now, working with the Salvation Army, wants to refurbish an empty warehouse that's occasionally used to house homeless people. And they now want to bring in 160 undocumented children that have come in through Texas, now in California. They want to house them there. Okay? Now, what is interesting, though, is the Salvation Army said that these 160 or 165 children are already targeted for deportation. All right? They are kids, and we've been talking about that on the show. Okay? These kids are going to be deported. They need to house them for 30 days. It's going to take 30 days to process the turnaround paperwork and get it done. And
isn't that amazing? Why does it take 30 days to process something illegal? It should just be a turnaround, like you're going to Vegas in one of those
the old people buses.
Yeah, turnaround.
Why does our state senator have to go through 2 days of background checks to get onto a naval base? To see the illegal immigrants that are being housed there
without a cell phone
that don't have any ID.
Yep.
Okay.
They got in real easy.
So, it is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay? And what is happening is nuts. And Texas is still exploding with problems. And California's got their problems too. And places are filling up.
Yeah.
And people are starting to reach out. And now this is the Salvation Army. But I think shortly you're going to see warehouses, businesses, people, okay?
Well, it's going to be big money in it.
Just like the guy that's renting the property to Christopher Hubert.
Oh,
okay?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That sees big... I was talking to somebody just the other day, and I was explaining that, this guy... They said, I heard that the property owner got out of prison, okay? And how can he have a relationship with another felon to rent the property? Well...
Third party.
Exactly, okay? They put in the go-between.
And for $2,500 a month, you can have a go-between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what it is.
I mean, his mortgage is probably $450.
It was around $500. No. I think somebody said the going rental on the property would be around $500.
So the mortgage is $350.
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's nastiness.
I have no idea, but he's collecting like $2,400 or $2,500 a month.
Amazing.
And that's never underestimate the other person's greed. Okay, because he'll sell out the community.
Oh yeah, your mama, your father, everybody.
But he doesn't have a moral compass, because this is a guy that went to prison, okay, for trying to hire a hitman to execute his wife.
Yeah, he's a misogynist anyway.
So he doesn't care. It makes no difference.
Cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, so it doesn't make any difference to him. But now I think you're going to see businesses, okay, empty warehouses. Now you'll see people that will reach out and say, hey, I can make money on this. I'll compromise what I'm thinking. Go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
Where's the where are the businesses looking to take care of our foster kids that are piling up?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right? Foster kids that well, they do have that new facility that's downtown, and we've been invited to go tour it.
Oh, I'd like to.
But yeah, there are foster kids that are sleeping in offices, in cubicles.
Yeah.
Okay? Up on the 28th floor, okay, that have no place to go, okay? Or people that are homeless.
Right.
Okay? Kids that are homeless or have no food and all that. Why
Lancaster wouldn't let the people that wanted to convert the old skating rink into a homeless shelter and cooling off station.
Yeah,
people wanted to do that out of the kindness of their heart. And they wouldn't let them do it.
At no cost. At no cost. Right.
Why? I don't get it. Why is it okay to take care of the rst of the world and we can't take care of our own?
No, I mean, yeah.
Did you just enter from stage left?
Yes.
You did? Yes. Wow.
But I'm up to speed. I do see people on CNN. I mean, the community is going crazy. They're like, we can't take care of our own kids. We can't take care of ourselves. And people want to take care of these people that are refugee statuses from other countries that are having problems. I mean, we've got problems too.
Do you see a lot of celebrities saying that they're in favor of this?
Nope.
No.
They're not saying nothing.
They're not. No. And the ones that I do see that are talking are saying they're not in favor of it.
Angelina Jolie says, I've only got so many bedrooms.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's a very tough situation. It really is. I mean, I don't like the nastiness of the protesters. I don't like, go back to your country. I don't like that, because America became that way. America, that's how we came up on America. Coming here and kicking all the Indians out. And now we're above all that, and now it's so ours when we did the same thing to somebody else. So, it's like, come on. Just speak on a level that's respectful and still leaves the person with the integrity of being that human being, because it still took a lot of guts to leave wherever you came from to come to some place that you have no clue. So it's got to be real bad wherever you came from.
And my mother made a really good point.
What'd she say?
And I think it was brilliant. She said, we send a lot of money in aid to these Central American countries. Mm-hmm. Why don't we cut off the aid then to these Central American countries and spend that money processing and taking care of their citizens that they've shipped up here? I think that was brilliant.
That's a good point. I don't know how much money we sent to Guadalajara or where is it?
Guatemala,
Yeah,
Honduras, and all that. We do.
But we could say, hey, you know what? We was going to send you this check, but we're going to keep it now because we got your folks here.
Yeah, I mean, the money's supposed to be, it's earmarked to go to your folks. Well, they're all here now, so.
That's true.
I think that was brilliant.
Shut down the border.
Yeah.
Okay? Shut down the border.
Shut down the border and use their money.
Yeah.
If we were sending money to that country, shut that down and use that money. Because maybe
Absolutely.
that will, maybe that money is
They say, wait a minute.
Yeah, and maybe they'll be like, oh, well, we need to just fix our stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll shore up their own border.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with Adelanto thinking that they want to jump into this,
Yeah, it's with greed all pours in.
I've heard people suggest, hey, let's use the immigration detention center we had at Mira Loma. That's only being used 50%. Well, let's use that. That'd be a way that, hey, maybe the state and or county can get some money out of this.
Yeah.
Ventura is full. You're going to see. This morning, Citigroup agreed to pay $7 billion.
To me?
Not to you.
Oh.
Okay? $7 billion, okay, to settle an investigation into the risky subprime mortgages and that entire financial crisis that happened, okay? This is a really good thing for me, okay? For me, only because I have an issue with Bank of America that's still there, that's still in the courts, that is due for settlement. And now maybe Bank of America will do this. And agree to pay off, too.
That's what brought us together, isn't it?
That's nice.
Yeah, no, I was doing it. It was going on a couple years beforehand, but yeah, I was in the thick and thin of stuff. And actually, when I settled one of my things globally with everybody except for B of A, okay, my settlement was actually faxed to your house.
Nice.
Jeff?
Yeah.
That was a very happy day for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
What was it? Countrywide. When the financial crisis, when the mortgage industry tanked, okay, when it tanked, especially here in California, and Countrywide was right in it, okay. The very first lawsuit filed in the state of California against them was mine.
Nice.
Had to be all front in the line, huh?
I paved the way for a lot of other people. Okay, I did, and I wouldn't have known that I had a problem, except that there was a listener listening to our show, to a show back then. Okay, that called me up after the show. He said, "Hey, do you know this about your house?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? I don't have a mortgage." Well, yeah, you do. No. And this was a whole fraudulent fake mortgage that was sold on Wall Street.
Yeah.
And bought and sold and bought, and everybody wanted to take my house away from me for a mortgage I never had. Okay? Yeah, it was terrible.
And normally people would just lose their property and it'd be a done deal.
I know a woman here in the Antelope Valley. She called into the show, okay? She had her house for 25 years. For 25 years, okay? Owned her house free and clear. She lost her house.
That's terrible.
She lost her house. She could not save her house. Back then, when I could have foreclosed on Tom Cruise's house, and once that paperwork gets started, it was so difficult back then, okay, to back the train up into the station. It was nearly impossible.
And what proof do you need? I mean, how could you just go ahead and put a foreclosure on somebody else's property?
Oh, that's the whole thing.
They didn't request any proof of your position?
No, and title companies do this stuff all the time, and it was terrible.
My folks bought the land that they live on now and built the house, did everything in cash. In 1970, bought it and built it and everything. My mother's now dead father still has a lien on the house. He never put a penny anywhere into it. There is still a lien on the house from this dead jerk.
I don't get it. I mean, it doesn't dissolve because he's dead?
I don't know. Steve's a legal mind on it.
Things stay. The very first, and this was great, the very first motion for a preliminary injunction, okay, in a real estate action, filed in the Antelope Valley. Was they didn't even know how to file it. Okay? I had to actually go to Judge Jackson at the time, who was here in the Antelope Valley, is now a Ninth Circuit court, or one of the appeals courts here in California, but I had to go to him and get permission to file it.
He said, let's see.
And I was very you know what a great judge. I was very fortunate to have a judge that I couldn't have had a better judge.
Good.
Okay?
Well, hopefully B of A will follow suit.
In the courts for 4 years.
Wow.
It was a nightmare. A nightmare. Yeah, so this is great for a lot of people because what they're going to do, it's not just $7 billion in cash. They've agreed that they're going to go back and look at $4 billion worth of homeowners' loans. Okay? They're going to rewrite those loans. They're going to reduce the costs on those loans and make those loans much more affordable for those people. They'll pay cash as well. It's going to be a $4 billion monetary payment.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And this is a settlement. They didn't want to go all the way to court. Okay? They didn't want to. B of A is still fighting with the Justice Department. But I think that B of A will now cave in.
When are they ever going to go after Goldman Sachs for all their stuff?
Oh.
They're not going to
No.
because that's who's in
His
charge
name
of the
is
Treasury.
Goldman Sachs.
They actually call it Government Sachs.
There you go.
That's who's in charge of the Treasury today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sachs fifth.
Yeah. Absolutely. Did you hear about the guy, and we're almost out of time, but the guy in Indiana? A guy stole a car in Indiana yesterday. All right?
Okay.
Stole a car, jumped on the freeway, going the wrong way.
Nope.
Okay?
That's how you steal a car in Indiana.
And went head on to a Greyhound bus.
Oh.
Okay?
I hope everybody on the bus is okay.
There were 19 people on the bus. Nobody seriously injured.
Nice.
19 lawsuits.
The guy was killed.
Yeah.
Okay, instantly.
Yeah.
It took them a while to figure out exactly who he was.
What an
The
idiot.
reports were that the car was so flattened. Okay, you couldn't even tell what kind of wheels were on the car.
Ooh.
Okay, it was just
Yeah, because he got on the freeway going full speed. Hitting, a big old bus going full speed.
Yeah. And Tracy Morgan filed a lawsuit, against Walmart,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it's
What?
good.
Yeah,
Right.
because of the car accident.
Oh.
Where his,
Yeah.
his
Right.
friend died.
Yeah.
I guess the truck driver was up 18 hours or something like that.
I've heard all kinds of stuff. That he hadn't slept. I also heard that he was speeding at the time. Should have been going 40 and he was going 70.
He probably had no clue.
Right.
Just sleepy, just tired.
Yeah, so Walmart's going to change to Morgan Mart,
Yeah.
coming up soon.
Man.
Yeah, he almost died.
Yeah.
And and another guy did die.
Yeah.
So-
We've got Palmdale Chamber of Commerce luncheon
Okay.
on Wednesday at the Rancho Vista Golf Course. It will be the State of the City address.
Oh.
Okay. So that'll be very good.
State of the city address.
So I hopefully everybody will attend that. And then, we've got to get back into and get some of the candidates on. We've got to get back into election mode.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on with that. Okay? So we got to get back in that. There's a lot happening here. Like this assembly bill that is going to force employers to pay sick pay.
or you can describe it as the assembly bill that is going to afford parents and people to be able to take care of their families. It's always a twist. You'll say, I never back anybody. I never down anybody. It's just always the way you deliver it.
You can
with your nice little spin.
you can say whatever you want.
Yeah,
it's a bill that I'm not happy about.
I understand.
Okay? Not at all. Remember Marlboro Girls School? They've been around for like 100 and some years.
Yeah.
We'll talk
Isn't
tomorrow.
that in Calabasas?
No, they're in L.A.
Oh, my girlfriend's daughter goes there. What's wrong?
There's a little problem going on there with students that have been possibly sexually assaulted.
Oh my God.
Okay. Now, one student came forward. We'll talk about it tomorrow because we're out of time. One student came forward. This happened to her about 10 years ago. Okay.
Oh, good Lord, they're not
All right.
still there molested on kids.
another one came forward that's current.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
The teacher's been let go, and
Oh, my God.
yeah,
Oh,
and
my
it's
God.
it's interesting to get into this because at the time that this happened, and actually the first time was about 14 years ago. Okay.
And just imagine, this is a private school that costs a lot of money. So
Right.
you're spending a lot of money for your kid to get molested.
This is like the Harvard Buckley kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of money. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not your $8,000
No,
tuition.
this is a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was in high school, wasn't it Marlboro Girls' School?
I don't know. I just knew, it ain't like my kids went there.
I
but
think
my
it is.
girlfriend's kid goes there.
Those were always the girls that we wanted to date.
Oh.
I wouldn't have.
Okay, I'm just
Oh.
saying. Okay. Yeah, but apparently there was a big investigation about 14 years ago. All right. The teacher was not let go. The teacher was reprimanded. It involved saying things that were of a sexual nature.
Mm-hmm.
And teacher was having a one-on-one meeting with a student, and he was saying, "Did you dress like that to turn me on?"
Uh-oh.
It was that kind of stuff that happened. She's been in therapy and going through this, and I guess it really affected her.
Because the teacher said that.
Yes. Okay. Now there's a new incident.
Her skins are too thin.
There's a new incidit, and the last thing I want to say: the LAPD officers on Saturday rejected Mayor Garcetti's proposal, and the Los Angeles Police Protective League has refused to accept the new contract that the city has offered. So you've got 9,900 LAPD officers that say we're not going to take that contract.
Oh, well, what do they want?
They want more money.
Well, they probably should get more money.
They want more money.
And some more training.
Diversity
some switch
training.
Out or something. Some switch
Diversity
out,
training, is that what you're saying?
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, some diversity training. I know we're out of time. I want to thank everybody for listening to the show and making us the #1 news talk radio program in the Antelope Valley and beyond. Have a great day, and we'll be back tomorrow.
They're not naming the teacher. Oh, the teacher Joe.